This is Curtis, and this is my reflection video of my 4-week independent project at Vision Tech. For my project, I decided to create a self bobblehead in which I 3D scanned myself and printed, 3D printed a model of myself. So the scanning portion of my project utilized this Cubify 3D Sense handheld scanner. Simply plugs into computer to work, and you can see here this is kind of what it looks like when it's scanning an object. It doesn't appear to create a full image until you scan over it a few times. Each scan will increase the surface area that you can see on the image. So once you get a good scan of the object, what you need to do is modify it. And in regards to scanning, what you want to do is make sure you rotate around the object or have the object rotate. Either way works. It kind of depends on what your circumstances are. But overall, you just need a good scan of the object, and in the program you will see white spots for any spot that the scanner has not picked up, so you need to make sure you go over those spots if you miss them. So once you get your scan, you'll go into an editing mode on the Cubify Sense program, and you can trim off any excess mishaps the scanner picked up. Like for instance, for me, it kind of fabricated a few extra bits on my face, so I had to cut those off. Then once you're done there, you have to export the file. And once you export it, it'll export in a .ply file. You will need to convert that to a .stl file, as Tinkercad will only accept STL files. So after I scanned it, it ended up looking something like this. So half body scan. I did 2 scans, one of a full body and one of just the head. The head one was just so I can get a bit more detail on the head portion, also since the bobblehead head itself would be larger, so it would need more detail in order to look correct. And I took this model you see here and brought it into Tinkercad. This is where I designed the inner workings of the bobblehead. I separated the body from the head of the model so I could hollow out the head, add a place for the spring. I used a spring model that is the same spring model I used when I created another bobblehead a few years ago, and I had to create the holes in the head so it fit to the size of the spring, and same with the body. Then of course for the body I added a base to it in order to keep it upright, and just for fun I added a little name tag of myself. One of the things I also had to create in Tinkercad are my glasses. Now the scanner cannot pick up things that are too small or reflective. So since it did not scan the glasses, I had to create my own pair, size them correctly, and then put them on the model, which I think looks pretty well. Slightly to the side a little bit, but in the final model it doesn't appear that way too much. So after I got the parts edited, I exported each file separately and printed them out. Here's a picture of the base printing. Now initially the base caused some issue because the printer ran out of filament midway through print. Then the printer proceeded to malfunction, and for a few days I was without printer. So the final product ended up kind of being a little rushed because I was a little short on time. But overall, I think it turned out pretty well in the end. It bobbles quite well, which that's one thing I had to do in modifying the model, is I had to use Blender and move the object to the center of mass, or the center point to the center of mass of the object. This gave me close to the center of gravity of the object, not exact, so I estimated the location in Tinkercad, and that allowed the head to actually sit up straight, which you can see here. It looks pretty good. Probably if I do it again, I would maybe make the distance between the head and the body a little bit more. You can kind of see right here it's a little close, and it does hit quite a bit, so it doesn't give enough bobble as I quite would like. Another thing is you can see there's no sidebar on the glasses. The printer was not able to print that out. And the glasses were printed. Somehow the printer was able to create them on the head. So I had to do a bit of cleaning up at the bottom just to make it look better. Then I had to glue the top of them to my forehead just so they would stay. Overall, really fun project. I definitely learned a lot about 3D scanning, and I definitely enhanced my knowledge of Tinkercad. And if I could do it again, there would be a few tweaks I would make, but overall, I think it's turned out pretty well. Thanks for watching.